guys, it's Kelly. I am back with my first layout as a guest designer for my Creative Scrapbook Kit Club, and I am going to link all the information to the website in the details below if you'd like to take a look at them. So I am going to be using the main kit today. They have several different kits that you can choose from with different subscription plans. They have the main kit, a creative kit, a limited edition kit, and a mini album kit. So it's pretty cool that they're a little bit different in that regard. So I also want to just say I apologize. This video or the layout, I do some at a friend's house and some at my house, and still trying to tweak the lighting a little bit so that when I'm with my friend, you know, the quality of the lighting is as good as, you know, that I can get. So I apologize if it's a little bit dark. So for today's layout, I decided to print these pictures of my daughter. She had just turned 4 years old, and she is a very expressive child. I keep telling her that she would be very good in theater. It would just be a natural fit for her. And, you know, I just wanted to document these sweet little faces that she, you know, can make. So this kit came with some journaling cards, and I liked this one that had the little heart on the end, and I wanted to add a strip of paper in the paper layers as well to bring that pop of the darker pink with the glitter in as well. And as I'm doing this layout, I decide that I want to add some mixed media with it on the background, which is why I didn't finish this layout when I started it at my friend's house. So when I looked through the chipboard, they had on this, it's a My Mind's Eye chipboard set, and it had this really pretty smile font, and I knew that that's what I wanted to use as my title. So it made the perfect little fit around that heart. I liked the way that it kind of curved just a bit. It just was a very seamless and easy title. So I decided that I wanted to bring a little bit of the stripe paper, and you know, until I really get going in my kit, I try to spare my paper as much as I can just until I can figure out exactly what I want to do with it. And while this wasn't the first layout made, I believe this was my second, so I'm still trying to get a good feel for the kit and, you know, my supplies and what I have and what I'm going to want to use and how I'm going to use it. So I'm always a little bit stingier with my paper in the beginning than I am with at the end. So I went through the journal cards again to see if there was anything else I could use. Sometimes with journal cards, I would prefer to cut them up and use them as embellishments rather than just the journal cards. And I like that because it, you know, makes them a lot more versatile, or at least for me, because, you know, I don't always want to journal on a set card like that. And some of the cards have beautiful die cuts or things, or not die cuts, but beautiful patterns that could be cut out as a die cut. So at this point, I'm just going through some of the embellishments, trying to get as much done on this layout as I can before I stop working on it and come back to it at a different time. So I'm just going to adhere all the pieces. I really liked the way that it was coming together, and I decided to pop one of the photos up on some craft foam. And I know that several other people are doing this as well, but I really like popping my photos up on craft foam for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a lot cheaper, and number two, you don't have to worry about your photo sagging in the middle or in places where you didn't quite get enough foam. So for me, that is definitely a win-win situation. So at this point, I pretty much stopped the layout with, you know, where I'm at now at my friend's house, just because I know that I want to get started on the background, and I did not bring all of my embellishments or all of my mixed media stuff with me. So I am back at my house and it's a different day, and I have gessoed a piece of white cardstock, and I did not show that because applying gesso is boring, and it's as simple as just painting it on the background. So I am taking my Distress ink and decided that I wanted just a subtle wash of color. The pattern papers are pretty bright, and I didn't want to distract from the pattern papers. So taking a Distress ink pad and just, smushing it on the plastic and spraying a little water makes for for an easy background. And I just loved the way that color was starting to come out. I did decide though that I wanted to have a little bit more depth to the color, and I didn't necessarily have another Distress ink that I thought would look right, but I did get these Prima watercolor pencils, and had a shade of the pencil that just helped to bring a little bit more depth to the background, and I just loved the way that this worked out with the pencil. And if you haven't tried this technique, I would suggest definitely using a water brush, because it just made it so easy. I cannot stress to you how easy it was, and I just loved the way that it came out. So the last thing I'm going to do to the background is I am going to add some modeling paste, and this stencil is a well-loved stencil from Basic Gray and Hero Arts. I have used this heart stencil quite a bit since I have received it. I do love it. I do want a stencil with slightly bigger hearts, so I'm going to be on the lookout for one. So if you have one that's one of your favorites, I would appreciate it if you leave it in the comments, because I am definitely on the prowl for another stencil. So I was liking the way that this was coming together. I did trim down the background cardstock to 11.5 by 11.5, and then adhered it onto a piece of paper in the kit. And I thought seriously about gutting it, but I really needed the extra stability, and the colors worked so well together that I decided to go ahead and do it. So I went to the letters that were included in the kit, and I came up with my title, Too Cute to Pout, and it didn't have enough O's in it, so I decided to make one of the twos the number 2, and I just liked it because it added a little bit of variety, and it's also just a creative way to be able to get a title down that you want and don't necessarily have all of the letters for. So what I'm showing you there is I took a journal card, and it had something on it that I didn't see myself using, and I took my Lawn Fawn heart dies, and I just strategically placed the dies to where I could cut out as many of the hearts with that pink glitter as I could, just to have for this layout, and then just to keep for some other layouts as well. So I decided that those flower stickers just weren't popping out enough, and I did take a black pen, and I believe that's the Sharpie that I ended up using that worked on the mixed media background, and I just very carefully did a thin outline just to help make those letters pop, so that you could definitely see the title, and it just increased the readability factor. So that's pretty much it for me on this layout. I do have some close-ups at the end, and again I am going to put the information for this kit club down at the bottom, and if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.